Good morning, Gemini. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. Thank you for showing up for this reading. This is your September love reading. I'm gonna leave it up to the cards to tell you whether it's a message for people that are involved or mainly a message for singles. I prefer it that way, so we're gonna navigate that together and jump in. So let me start by asking you to like the video though. Maybe even subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share if eventually at the end of this reading, if you feel this reading can be useful for someone else, please do share. So let me start with a major arcana so we can look at the overall energy for between the two of you, or for you in the month of September. You get the pivot, which is the Justice in this deck. So there's something that you're working hard to balance out. It could be yourself, your own energies, but I feel that you're working with others with the perspective of probably, interacting with them on a fair and just level. Let's use an oracle. If you don't mind, I'm just going to use the fan because it's way too hot. Even if it's really early already, it's going to be a very hot day today. Okay, the oracle will give us an idea of what the dynamics are between the two of you. First card is, so it's interview, a meeting, and a rendezvous. The second one is help, support, and anchorage. And the other one is letting go, breathing, and calming yourself. The fact of, being calm. I really enjoy this energy, especially the calm that comes with the equilibrium of the Justice. I find that I see you basically seek out maybe some help. You are having meetings and interviews with people that can help you and support you. And it's a place where you feel that you can really open up, let go. You can have a breather. It's a place where you feel safe. So I see people really helping you out in this respect. In a general sense, right? Even before I look at the love message per se. In love, you could experience somewhat of the same feeling. There's someone in particular which I think you feel is definitely your anchorage. You're seeking out this person, you want to meet them. I don't think you just want to conversate over the phone or even emails or whatnot, nothing written. I feel what is going to bring you some sort of, calm, or what's really going to make you feel good is if you see them. It'll bring you the sort of stress-free. Well, it'll be a relief from your stress, but it'll bring you a sensation of feeling stress-free because of the effect of this person on you. Let me pull some tarot right away. I pull only upright in this deck. It's a choice. I'd like to see how that plays out, really, this help. The Nine of Wands tells me that you are very much tired. You feel beaten up. You feel like so you feel beat up. You feel maybe even defeated, or having the sensation of you gave it all you had and you don't have much energy left. This one. The Six of Swords. I'm going to pull one more card before I speak. Just quickly, if this is science, because that's in the taught sort of world of tarot, so which is like one school, or if you want, they have specific keywords for each card, right? So science here makes me think that you might be seeking people that are like, it's medical help maybe. You're seeking the help of science in whatever shape and form. It could be that you're not sick, but the Nine of Wands here points to the fact that you might have an illness. You might be checking up on yourself. You might need that. You're going somewhere to do that. We see it twice now. We're seeing you meet up with people, literally having to encounter them. In love, there's a situation that really drains you, and it's the fact that for some reason it's linked to someone's passage. I feel it's like a movement that is constant. So you might have the impression that you have a hard time getting a hold of the person that you feel will bring you help, or the one that you seek support from. They might not be very often available to you or for you. They might be on the road a lot. They might be traveling, but they might also be someone that they're just so busy that when you see them, you feel like, not that you're not a priority, but you might feel like you're one of many. So it's not so much like the impression of being an option, though. It's just a little bit like saying you're not spending enough quality time with them. It's a balancing act on your part with them, but also on their part with their own schedule. This one, the Five of Wands. Okay, be careful of who you encounter in the coming weeks during September, mainly, of course. That's the month I'm reading for. You're going to be placed in situations where you're gonna need every ounce of diplomacy that you have inside you. You're gonna have to be extremely attentive to calm yourself in every situation. Breathe in and out when you feel that something is aggravating you, when you feel that you're not in control of a situation, when you feel that things become complicated and you didn't ask for it, like you didn't even, you know what I mean? Like, have you ever encountered this? You go somewhere and the person in front of you really doesn't cooperate and makes you feel like it's your fault. It's a little bit of that feeling where you're gonna have to be the bigger person, and even if you feel that you're right, you might not want to exercise that right, simply because it might create some conflicts or complications. Mainly, also while you travel, be careful of the people that you encounter, because a lot of people are not going to be looking where they're walking or where they're headed, and they might knock you over. I'm not saying that you would fall. I'm just saying that they might sort of bump into you. That's better said. Yes, thank you, Spirit. It's more like, you know, when someone's not looking. But you need to be looking, all around you here. Let me pull an oracle. Let me understand why basically a situation where you're seeking the support that of people that you feel can help you. It's almost like the road to get to these people. First of all, they're hard to get to because it's difficult to get a hand on just to have them available for you, to you. But also when you travel to them, it feels like it's a hassle. And I feel it could be something that adds to your sense of, things are just so difficult, like every little thing that you do seems to be weighing on you in a particular way. Almost like it's a little bit like resistance, but there's something else with it, and I'm trying to pick it up. I think it comes from, because it feeds on your discouragement. So it adds to your discouragement, your feeling of, being defeated all the time, of life is always a battlefield. And so that is such a drain that it's just that in love, it's really... Anyways, this is the meteor. It's actually chance up here. Okay. Be careful of everything or anything that goes too fast. Like if you're traveling fast, don't drive too fast. If you're going somewhere, like I said, pay attention to the people around you, because some other people are not. What I think here is pointed out in terms of there's a chance, it could be that for you, meeting someone that really helps you and supports you, especially in the setting of, or the context of you seeking help because you need it physically, because you might feel down, or you're suspecting maybe, coming down with something. It should be lucky. And yet the road to getting there is not so lucky. So pay attention, really. You don't want to aggravate your situation, and you don't want to have a situation that seems sort of trivial, maybe. You don't want it to get worse. And even with the person that you are seeking help from, there's got to be an understanding here that either you trust them, either you don't. And I'm going to be careful with that, because I think that you want to trust them. I think you know that they're trustworthy. But the strife card here, the Five of Wands, is really strange to me. There's something about... I'm going to have to clarify that. But I sense that you might be surprised that you're not trusty or trusting of the person that you're actually meeting. So it might be because the person is new to you. If it's someone that you already know, then it might be even more surprising for you to feel this way. I also feel that anything that goes too quickly makes you really uncomfortable. The more the reading, opens up, the less I see necessarily like a love situation. But in the case you're dealing with your person, I feel that you might get into an argument. It seems like it's most likely that you'll get into an argument. And the worst is that, unfortunately, well, there's two ways to interpret this. If it doesn't go so well, even with excuse me, even with the Justice card, you're going to try to, apologize, or you're gonna really try to make amends, and you're gonna try for you both to get along. And it might work out, because I do see the calm coming up. I see that you might avoid a conflict with your person just because I believe that you're the one that backs off or backs down. Basically, you're choosing your battles. In the case that it doesn't go so well, I feel that what doesn't go so well is that things quickly escalate, and you're not able to control either your reaction or their reaction. I'm not convinced that there's a lucky break here. It's a strange one. That's what I need to clarify. It's a strange reading because it looks good on the surface, and yet there's something very explosive on the Five of Wands. And there's something about speed that is not beneficial at all. Like when things unravel too fast, it's not a good thing here. The Empress, the Hermit is in the reverse, and the Fool. So 3 major arcanas. It almost feels like we're talking about 3 people. Okay, for me, because the Hermit is the 9th major arcana, let me show you the card when it's upright. Because it's the 9th major arcana, I do associate you to I think you're the 9 of Wands here, and you're also the Hermit in the reverse. So I find that you're in a position where you're not strong. Like you feel like you have very little to work with. In more ways than one. It feels like you're starting, how can I put it? If you see smoke, it's only incense. Anyways, you're not in the best of shapes. And that's why you're seeking help. It's funny because for me, the Empress here, I do believe these are the people that help you, but strangely, this Empress has a sword. So, and if you look at her face, she's not as inviting and necessarily like the kind of person that you would trust right off the bat. She gives me the impression of being a little more, I don't know, like the iron fist inside the velour glove, you know. It's like okay, the way I see the Empress is, I think it represents the person that is there to help you, especially because the person would be tending to your body, your health, your well-being. With the Empress, they have the know-how, they have what it takes, but for some reason they look menacing just from the imagery, and it's a very different interpretation than what the Empress should be. Granted, but it's what's coming up now. I also see that if you get into a conflict with someone that's trying to help you, even if you feel like something is going wrong or done wrong to you, the conflict itself makes you look like a fool, or is foolish, or it could be like, it's the speed that I'm talking to about, that I'm referring to. It's this instant, you know, when the fool jumps, he doesn't think. And it's the same thing when you get mad. Typically, you should start feeling that you're upset, but you should calm yourself before it goes too far. But it feels like it goes very fast, and you might be, unfortunately, leaning in and jumping in way too fast into the conflict. I don't like that energy at all, and it's coming up twice now. Even in the context of safety, having people that are there to help, I feel that there's something where, let's call it the danger, lies where there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of people, a little bit like a place where there's a lot of, let's say like a revolving door sort of feeling. I feel that you don't like when people try to go too fast or push you too much, like try to get you to do something in a particular way. You dislike that very much. It's a strange reading because I really sense that there's something positive here for you, and yet there's something that you need to be weary of. And the funny thing is that, let's say you lose trust or you feel in danger, ultimately your reaction puts you in danger. So if there's only one thing you need to remember from this reading is catch yourself more than anything. You know what I mean? Like, don't add to the confusion, don't add to the conflict, don't add to the impression of being pushed around, tossed. Also, don't assume that everything is as it is. Not that I don't want you to trust, but I do want you to stay. I guess I'm asking you to stay careful. Only because I see you in a very weakened position, right? You're not in a position or even a frame of mind to assess things with necessarily a lot of detachment. The Hermit is in the reverse. You don't have much time either to think about it, none at all, because it's whatever happens really fast with the meteor. And so the Hermit needs time to think things over and get a full idea of what's going on, but the card is in the reverse. There's no time for that. You're not going to have necessarily the wisdom that you typically have. That's why you're not in a position to, you're sort of, you kind of have to watch out for yourself, in the sense of you're your own worst enemy in this case, truly. Let me pull some so in love it's simply a scenario where you, I think you might fight with your loved one, probably over something that is not so important. It could be because it's a missed meeting, like a missed, you didn't go to a rendezvous, you missed each other. You could be fighting because you're going somewhere with someone, and or it's while you travel, or it's once you get there. Don't make any rash decisions when it comes to going somewhere as well, in the sense that, again, you don't have time to think things through, so you tend to jump into things really, really quickly with the Fool. So I do think you have to slow down in more ways than one. So let me just look at what your other person says to you. I pretend that I that I don't care. In the context of you seeking help, medical help, for instance, this is not a good card, is it? It could feel that you're not trusting in the people that are caring for you. This is what I meant by, funnily, this Empress doesn't seem so nice anymore because of the sword she carries and her face, maybe even the way she addresses you. She might be curt, she might be, not so understanding. I think you're gonna sense that you're not gonna like that at all, and actually you shouldn't accept that either. Truly. Let me see what else. Especially on, I want to pull on chance. I'm curious to see how this oracle can actually, if even it's possible that this oracle clarifies what chance is. We are not right for each other, and I hope you're happy for me. Well, maybe this conflict needs to happen in the sense that maybe you're arguing because maybe the other person's telling you that they want to end the relationship. Maybe it's I truly believe, even with the cards that I see here, that it's a shock. It could be the reason why you're going in this meeting thinking you're going to get help and support, when in reality the person tells you that they're going to move on with the Six of Swords, and it causes a conflict between the two of you on the Five of Wands. The Justice card then becomes, sort of the conversation that you have to try to fix things, but it doesn't. I think a lot of the conversation goes around that you're not right for one another. Maybe it points back to the Hermit in reverse energy of the relationship in general, where anyways, things aren't so great. The level of energy of both of you on the Nine of Wands is low. So it is on the Hermit in the reverse. It could be with the Fool on one side and the Hermit on the other side. There's a huge age difference between the two of you. It could contribute to the fact that the scales are, something doesn't align and you're not really truly a fit for one another. I think that this meteor then becomes like, when you have a shooting star, it blazes bright, but very quickly. It doesn't stay, disappears very quickly. So it could be the impression that you have of what your relationship is truly. And you have this, I guess you have this thought here of you're hoping the other person will be happy for you if you're leaving them, and if they're leaving you, it would be nice for you to say something like, of the likes of, I hope you're happy for me, instead of, fighting. But I feel that you do. I feel that you come to the conclusion, if that's you, you can reverse the roles, right? But let's say it's you. You let go. You accept. By letting go, you accept the situation. And I think that you could even wish this person to be happy without you. But then in terms of the love dynamic, there's someone that really didn't treat you right. And I think the person who's leaving you did not treat you right. I think this is why you feel so drained. I think this is why you feel so knocked down, beaten up, that you feel so less than. It could also explain why the Empress is so menacing, right? Because you have someone that you really care for. Basically, they have your heart in their hands. I feel you've given them your power because they're the Empress and you're the Nine of Wands. and or the Hermit. So there's something about, look, on their side, they're young, they're beautiful, they're outgoing. But on your side, I feel that you're older, but you're also maybe in less good shape, less active as well. Anyway, there's a huge sort of gap between the two of you, of where you're at and what you need from each other. You're just not meeting each other. I really believe that you can let go of one another. I think you can separate, which I think is what's about to happen in September. I think that you can do that in a much different... First of all, you need to walk in this meeting or this particular encounter with the best of intentions. Already it'll help you. You have to watch out for what's being said to you and how, and mostly how you react to what's being said. Thirdly, if truly the person is letting you go and telling you they're letting you go, accept it, and there's no need to fight. But there is a need to take your power back, and there's a need for you to be smart, and there's a need for you to wish the best to the other person. It's like, even in terms of karma, it's much better if you send out love, even in a situation that is stressful, where you don't feel obviously on top because you're not being you're not gonna feel very good about, knowing that this person doesn't want to stick with you. So I'm not sure exactly how you're gonna take it, but I do think you're gonna take it very personally though. And that's the mistake. So if there's, again, one last thing I should say, just keep your equilibrium, stay calm. Don't rush, don't be a fool, don't let the person treat you like a fool. And mostly stay alert in situations where you feel things get out of hand. Whether it's with this person or other people that you're encountering as you maybe are going to this meeting, or like there's more than one thing here. There's like you and your other, but I do see this strife as like an energy that is negative and contagious, right? So you might have quite a day of hurdles here of having to dodge more than one bullet, literally. Lastly, I'm just going to pull a card to see where you stand and how you appear in oracle form in this context. I want to see what energy you're in. It says that you're the sage. It's tradition and order. So I'm glad to see that, because you are the hermit in the reverse. So you're not in a position to really, like I said, you don't have time to think things through as usual, but you have your natural wisdom. You know to keep order. You need to keep the peace. It's very important that you do. To keep your own peace at that, right? No matter what happens around you. Okay, enjoy your month of September. It's not an easy one. I feel that you're gonna be sort of triggered, so watch out for your triggers. Know your triggers and choose to act differently. It'll save you a lot of hassle. You're gonna conserve and reserve your energy if you do that. And in a situation where someone is leaving you, then let them go, because there's truly not a match, and you want to be in you want to be in a energy and you want to stay on the emotions of being grateful for the experience and wishing well to others. It'll be much more productive than pretending that you don't care, for instance, or having someone pretend they don't care about you. Anyways, thank you so much. Please like the video on your way out. Do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.